because you start off by saying, you're in Denver. You're in Denver. And I thought we would be talking to you in Denver. Here we go, Vinny. The Nuggets won. They're up 1-0, defending NBA champs. This is what they do. Home court, on and on. That's not what happened in game one. Let's listen to Anthony Edwards and Jokic talk about game one, and then we'll come back and get your take on it.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. Going against the best player in the world is always fun. Going against the best team in the world is always fun. And like I said, man, they're well coached. They're disciplined. They're not going to beat themselves. And I feel like our coaching staff did a great job of game planning throughout the 3-4 days that we had, and our guys came out and competed tonight. So it's not about just me personally. It's about my team. You know, they give me confidence also. I mean, seeing in the third quarter, I didn't do anything. I was just out there running up and down. And Mike and Kat came out big for us, so that gave me confidence, you know, to try to find myself.
What's the adjustment that you can make to, you know, Rudy Gobert's length, and, you know, not only that, them just rotating 3 fresh bigs on you, you know, for most of the game?
To have a duplicate clone of myself, and then I can, you know, I can be fresh. When they sub another guy, I'm going to be fresh.
So he didn't really give you an answer there because he knows he got 3 guys.
He gave you an answer. He gave you an answer.
Yeah, he didn't give a realistic. Excuse me. He didn't give a realistic answer. I don't think it's realistic. What did you see from this game? What did you see from Anthony Edwards that, you know, that informs your, I don't know what, I'm stumbling because I'm not sure how you saw the series before it started. Did anything you see or anything that you heard inform the way you look at the series now?
I thought the champs were going to win the series. I didn't think it was going to be comfortable. I thought it was going to be, you know, one of those beautiful struggles. I thought at the end of 2 games, it was going to be tied 1-1. At the end of 4 games, it'll be tied 2-2. And then, you know, you go from courting. Like, we're still in the courting period. You know what I mean, Michael? You know what that is, right? You know what courting is.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is. I mean, I've heard of it. I heard of the concept. I don't know exactly what it is, but I've heard of it. We're still in the courting period. We ain't dancing yet. We just talking, courting, right? We talking, right? So I was not surprised by Anthony Edwards' performance. I looked at all those guys defending him. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Reggie Jackson, Aaron Gordon, Justin Howe. Like, they literally threw the book at that dude. And he showed a sophistication. He showed an adult-like approach to the game. And I didn't expect him to have solved Denver's defense in game 1. Now, here's what I expect to happen in game 2, because this is where the chess match begins, Michael Holley. For one, Michael Malone's dad, the late Brendan Malone, was an architect of the Jordan rules, right? Jordan rules, physical, beat you up, beat you down, all that stuff. And I've said on here many times that Anthony Edwards moves like Michael Jordan. Like, there's just a fluidity in the way that he plays. I'm not saying that he is. I'm not going to go that far. You know, I know some people want to go that far. I think Ant is going to be his own man, his own player. And there's a lot of similarities to 23, mind you. But with that being said,
he sounds like a young 23 too. He sounds like him. Just right there,
draw,
I could hear
the country draw. Yeah.
Sounds
It sounds like it.
Unbelievable. Anyway,
so what's going to happen tonight? I know.
I don't want to get lured into that trap. I don't want to get lured into it, but I'm starting to. But go ahead.
Look. What it's almost like Richard Pryor and Eddie Murphy. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to say it because you don't want to say it, but it just looks so familiar, right? It just looks so familiar. So tonight and for the rest of the series, I'm going to see if the Denver Nuggets are going to give Anthony Edwards a little bit more physical treatment. If they're going to, we'll say not beat him up, but if they're going to take the game to him, because he's a big, strong dude, and he took the game to them. He dominated the game from a physical standpoint on Saturday night. Are they going to give him that treatment on the other end? Look, man, this ain't skinny Michael Jordan here. You know what I mean? Like, he's 22, and this is his second playoff run. It usually takes time, Michael. It usually takes time for 22-year-olds to understand the pace of the playoffs, the physicality, the force, the concentration. If he's figured this out already, baby, everybody's in trouble. Not just the champs, the entire league is in trouble, and you might as well hand over the next 6 Junes to Anthony Edwards if he has figured it out already.
I think he may have. I think Anthony Edwards at 22 has figured this out. I think that a couple of things you mentioned are right on point. Number one, physical. The physical size of Anthony Edwards. Now, so if you go back, and I'm glad you mentioned Brendan Malone, because Brendan Malone and the Pistons used to wear the Bulls out. You know this. You saw it up close. They were the bad boy Pistons. They enjoyed it. They embraced it. They had some dudes that not only did you not want to run into those dudes on the basketball court, you wouldn't just want to run into those dudes, period. Okay? Like, you know, Rick Mahorn, Big Buddha, James Edwards, you know, Sally, Rodman, like over the years, they had a bunch of those dudes.
Lambeer.
Don't
forget about the head goon Lambeer.
Hey, Lambeer, and I'm gonna tell you what, even the guard, like Vinny Johnson was a microwave, not known for his defense. But he could give you a look. Like, I might. Oh, I might. Okay. Oh, you want to try me? You know, like the Pistons just had those cats. And Jordan, and he talks about this with his trainer, was it Tim Grover? Tim Grover really started working with Jordan, and you'd see him, and he'd have the videos and the pictures of him in the gym, Scotty and Michael in the gym, just trying to get strong. They had to get stronger to even deal with the rigors of the East, and specifically the Pistons. Well, Anthony Edwards doesn't have that issue, and also the issue he doesn't have, maybe this is the second apron era coming into effect, Vinny, is that these teams aren't constructed for long amounts of time where you got to go through that maze to get to the next level. You got to pay your dues, and it may take you 2 years. Well, okay, I know a few years ago the Phoenix Suns were championship contenders. They're not anymore. The Lakers won a championship 4 years ago, but they're not close to winning a championship now. Like the Warriors won 2 years ago. 2 years ago, they won a championship. This time, they were a 10th seed. They were a 10th seed that didn't make it out of the play-in round. So there's not that ogre standing in front of the standing in front of the O'Brien Trophy saying, you got to pay your dues before you pass here.
No,
so
it's the team they're playing now. It's the team they're playing now. Like, it's, I'm not going to be so quick to write off the champion Denver Nuggets. I'm not going to do that. Now, if Kentavious Caldwell-Pope is hurting and he doesn't look like himself, and Jamal Murray's calf, you know what I mean? If they're not close to 90% or close to 100%, the door is open. But I don't think the champions are just.
But they're not the same as they were last year. They're not even the same team.
You don't have to be.
Just as long as they got that guy, as long as they got Jokic.
Yeah. The best player in the game. He's inevitable. He's going to beat you up. Like the fact that Minnesota has the players to throw at him, from Rudy Gobert to Karl Towns to Naz Reid. Like, you can maybe sort of start to wear him down, and you're going to pressure him up 40 feet or 90 feet or whatever it is. But he's going to make his own adjustments. Michael Malone's going to make his adjustments too. Mm-hmm. So I would expect the champions to issue a resounding response tonight. Resounding. Like, champions don't become champions, and the first test that they receive, they give it up. I picked the Nuggets to win this series.
And you're going to stick with it.
I don't know if I mean, I have to, right? I'm not a person that's going to waffle. Yes, you do.
Hey, you don't have.
Yes,
it's
you
not
do.
called.
You
it's not called waffling.
You have to be a man. You have to be a man of your word and integrity. That's what that is.
You feel that way all the time? All the time?
What you trying to say?
What if information
What you trying to
changes?
say?
Hey,
what you trying to say?
I'm saying there are things that happen. Okay, I'm gonna use another example because I don't want to be accused of putting anything on anybody. Okay, so let's go back to the bubble. The Lakers Heat championship. And let's say you say, I'm going with the Lakers and nothing is going to change my mind. What if Anthony Davis had gotten hurt after game 1? You can't say, well, I stuck with it. Information should change your opinion. It's not waffling. It's, oh, this is a stream of information I hadn't considered, or this is something I didn't know. A circumstance has spun this thing around a little bit, and now I may have to reconsider, such as a 22-year-old number 1 overall pick playing like he's 27. Way too early. He's too early. This is not supposed to happen right now.
You're right. Yeah. He's ahead of schedule. This is the scary part, Michael Holley, is that if he's playing with the maturity, right? Like we saw Kobe Bryant in 2001. I think Kobe was 22, 23 years old then. And the Lakers ran through the postseason. That might have been the single greatest playoff team we've ever seen, with apologies to the 2017 Warriors, right? Prime Shaq, young Kobe, and Kobe had sort of taken over in a way that you're like, man, is Kobe the best player in the league now? And it only happened in the playoffs. In the regular season, you didn't say it. But in the playoffs, right, when the brights were lighter, and I say brights were lighter? Lights were brighter.
Did you do that? That was dope.
Yeah,
I thought you did that on purpose.
Yeah. No, I did not. That was
Okay.
I was not pulling a Kendrick Lamar. That was not a double
brights
entendre
were lighter.
there.
That is.
Yeah, brights were lighter.
That's nice.
That's not it. That's not it. I would tell you as a funny thing. I wound up getting metaphors mixed up on the radio once, like years ago, and I said you can fly a blind squirrel can find a nut twice a day or something like that. Like I wound up getting the broken clock and the blind squirrel all in one, and I think that's what I did
them all
with
together?
With the bright light, with the light brights and all that type of stuff. But the point about Kobe was, that's the year that Kobe got 48-16 on Sacramento. That was the year that he completely dominated the San Antonio Spurs of David Robinson and Tim Duncan. If this is where we are with Anthony Edwards, I'm not saying we are there. Like, I'm resisting the urge.
Okay.
I'm resisting the urge to say that this is his league, right? This can still be his league, and they don't have to win this series. Like the Minnesota Timberwolves don't have to win this series. The Denver Nuggets have to win this series. They have to win another championship to be fully depth. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. They have to win a championship.
Because
you don't want to be one of those 5 teams that have won championships the last 5 years, right? Those teams are looked up as one-offs.
Isn't it?
Yeah,
is.
But if you want to be different, look, the Lakers won a championship, but LeBron, that was number 4. Golden State won a championship, but that was number 4. It's a continuation of legacies that were already cemented. Denver, this is their first championship. That's the first banner that's in that building. And now you have a superstar in his prime, not late prime, in the dead center of his prime. He's going to win his 3rd MVP this year.
Wow.
This week. This week, he's going to win his 3rd MVP. And that means we're going to hold you up to a certain amount of scrutiny. If you win the 3rd MVP and you get knocked out in the 2nd round, we can't be talking about you in the way that we're talking about Bird,
especially
and Magic,
as a
and
defending
Jordan,
champ.
And as a defending
Knocked out in the
champ,
2nd round as a defending champ. Yeah.
You have to defend your title. So the reason I picked Denver to win this series is because Denver has to win this series. It's imperative that they win this series. That's why.
Hey, thank you for watching Brother from Another. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, go ahead and do that now. Don't forget, you can catch us 3 to 4 weekdays on PeacockTV.com and on Sirius XM Channel 85.